You're listening to The Social here on Talksport 2 with myself, Flex, and Dan Bardell will be with you until 5pm. I'm going to get Dan's verdict on his beloved Villa with Ollie Watkins and Emmy Martinez dreaming of a move to Old Trafford. They can't wait. They would love to move to Old Trafford. Anil Condola will be with us for a roundup of all the day's transfer stories at 4pm. And we'll be heading over to America for all the latest on the Club World Cup 2. Now, Aston Villa striker Ollie Watkins has emerged as a serious target for Manchester United. Watkins was heavily linked with a move to Arsenal in January, but that failed to materialise, and now Man United are seemingly keen to bring him in. Listen, Manchester United just finished 15th and can hardly hit a barn door and don't know where the back of the net is and can't score goals. And to potentially bring in somebody who has got double figures in the league in the last 5 seasons in a row, is a top striker, and is one of the top 10 goal scorers in the Premier League in the last 5 seasons. Manchester United, I can speak for us, should not be turning up their nose at Ollie Watkins at any chance. Obviously, the numbers would have to make sense, but Manchester United and I should absolutely be looking at Ollie Watkins. And for me, when Rory's sort of saying he's not the guy to get them back to their former glories, I think that sometimes people forget that the jump from, being totally awful like we are now to your former glory is a steady process. It doesn't just happen by you going and get one player and then all of a sudden you're back to there. Ollie Watkins, a very, very good striker, top level striker in the Premier League, has proven it week in, week out, year in, year out, season in, season out, at this level. And I think as an opportunity to sign him for, if the money is right, would be a perfect signing for Manchester United. You're a Villa fan though. How do you see this from your side?
Right, you could argue that Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free would improve Manchester United.
No, let's not be silly.
You could make the argument. I presume Rory's happy with Liam Delap going to Chelsea.
He probably isn't.
I assume he would be. And
you reckon?
No, I say Watkins is a superior
Okay.
centre forward to Liam Delap. So would he be saying that if Manchester United were getting Liam Delap?
Exactly. Well, and also,
fair enough, his opinion.
Also about the Premier League, if we went and signed Victor Gyökeres now, we'd probably say fantastic, this, that, and the other. You're talking about Premier League proven, someone who knows what to do it, how to do it in the league. When you go out and get players from foreign leagues, it doesn't matter how good they are. There's always that. What's it going to be like when they get here, though? Ollie Watkins is Premier League proven.
Watkins doesn't get the credit he deserves as a centre forward, because not only does he get double digits for goals every season, he gets double digits for assists as well, plus the work he puts in for the team. Now, I can't sit here and say he doesn't miss chances, because he does miss chances, but the guy gets himself into so many positions, and Emery has completely revitalised him and changed his game. He'd lost his way under Gerrard a little bit, like the whole club had. In fairness, what Unai Emery has done with Ollie Watkins is turned him into one of the best centre-forwards in Europe for the season that Villa are about to embark on, where you're playing Thursday, Sunday, Europa League, Premier League. I wouldn't swap him for anyone that we could get realistically. I think he's ideal for that because he's very, very durable as well, Ollie Watkins. I rate him really highly. I'm not massively worried about him going to Manchester United. I think if Man U came in and hit a certain price point, Villa would sell. That's just the way football works. Villa would do that. But I'd be more worried about going to Arsenal at this point than going to Manchester United. And I don't think he should go to Manchester United either.
Of course you don't. Well, I remember having conversations with you when I tried to explain to you, quite politely actually.
Was it polite?
It was. You just took it as not polite, which made it more funny, right?
Right.
But I said, Dan, do you realise if we wanted to go and get Ollie Watkins, he'd come to Man United? You do
Aston
realise
Villa
that,
accepted an offer, yeah.
No.
No. The fee would have been
this is what I mean, where you're misreading what I'm saying. Forget business and the numbers, and it'll be good for your books and PSR. I'm saying to you, if Manchester United put an offer to Ollie Watkins and say, we want you to be our number one striker, here's a 4-year deal, right? +1. Yes, bigger wages, because we can afford to pay
more than Villa,
we'll pay more than that. And you got a chance to be Man United striker, he would say yes.
Well, you put in a transfer request to leave Villa and come to Manchester United.
In terms of agitating that high to say, I'm not playing for you ever again, go on strike, I don't think he's that type of character. But what I'm saying to you is this notion that Man United are 15th, they got no European football, so they can't get anywhere. Why is Ollie Watkins going to want to go there? You do know that's total nonsense, though. You do know that Man United is still massive, don't you? Do you know that?
Yeah, Manchester United fundamentally are a bigger club than Villa. I can't sit here and deny that. As for states of the football clubs right now, Aston Villa is in an infinitely better state than Manchester United.
But what I'm saying to you is that's what I'm saying. So even with the two perspectives, I'm saying that Ollie Watkins will look at that as a 29-year-old and go, I'm going to go Man United for 4 years. I'm going there. I'm going Man United now.
I'm not sure. I don't think he'd go to that level.
What do you mean?
Martinez maybe.
Ollie Watkins is gone. If we offer him 4 year plus one, he's gone. Obviously, if you accept.
Obviously,
obviously
accept the offer.
Yeah.
I would
but that's why I'm talking about the player, because what you were saying to me was basically Man United are so rubbish.
No.
Why is he going to want to go there?
We had this conversation.
We can get him.
You've taken it all out of context.
Wow.
We had this conversation last season whilst Villa were in the knockout phase of the Champions League and Manchester United were winning one game out of 12 or whatever it was.
Yeah, and I said by the summer we can get him.
When I said what I said at that point, there was absolutely no way on this earth that Ollie Watkins would have gone to Manchester United.
Well, according to The Athletic, now there is.
Well, that was a completely different time.
What do you mean? You had Marcus Rashford. They've said that we were talking about this deal even then. It's always been a thing.
They've just mentioned.
Oh, look at see.
It was just mentioned in passing in
Why can't you just admit, right? Why can't you just admit?
I've admitted.
No, but what you're not admitting is the fact that Ollie Watkins could choose Man United over Villa. That's what you won't accept. And that's what I'm trying to make you understand, is that you have to understand that forget Man United being 15th. There's players, especially from within the Premier League, that still want to go there.
Yeah.
Over teams that are better than us.
But forget Watkins. To talk about Martinez, who I think is far more likely to go to Manchester United than Watkins.
We don't want him.
So
I'll change my mind on that as well.
You don't want him?
I wanted him. I wanted him when, because of our banter, and I did.
Starting to say why you're called Flex.
But then when I think about it,
flexible with the opinions.
But hang on a minute, when I actually thought about it logically, mate, statistically, I was looking. He made more mistakes than Onana last year, mate.
Mate,
honestly,
he's
not having him.
1,000,000% better than Onana.
I think for 40 million, I think I could go buy a better keeper than Martinez.
See, but to the point I was trying to make is that to certain players.
Yeah.
So for Martinez and Watkins have both been at Villa for 5 years.
There you go.
That's a long time to be at a football club nowadays. Yeah. Probably back in the day, that's the equivalent of seeing out a decade and getting a testimonial. Being at a club for 5 years doesn't happen very often anymore. Martinez did have an off year last year. It wasn't his best season for Villa. Still an unbelievable goalkeeper with brilliant presence. For him, I can see why he would want to go to Manchester United because he's a different type of character. He's got an ego. He's won what he's won. He's been voted the best goalkeeper in the world twice. He would go to Manchester United and think, I can go there and be part of making Manchester United great again. I believe in myself that I'm good enough.
You don't think Ollie Watkins would think that?
For Watkins, I think for strikers and outfielders in general, if you've got good people around you, I think you're saying stay away from there.
What, don't go and play with Cunha and Mbeumo and Bruno?
Mate, we're talking a lot about Cunha.
What are you talking about?
Cunha and Mbeumo are good players, good Premier League players.
Very good. No, very good.
But that's not the market that Manchester United have shopped in prison. You're talking about...
We bought Dwight York from you. What are you talking? We bought Berbatov from mate. What are you talking about?
Top six Villa is very different to Brentford and Wolves.
We bought Andy Cole from Newcastle.
Newcastle were in the top two, top three every season.
No. What? See, this is what I mean. People keep acting like, Man United shouldn't be shopping there.
I'm not saying they shouldn't.
What do you mean?
I'm not saying they shouldn't.
So what do you mean? That's not the market.
You're talking like they've just bought prime Messi and Ronaldo.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that it would be a very attractive proposition to Ollie Watkins to just be at Man United as the main striker, right? Big contract, increased wages, and the allure of Man United. And two, you also say to him, mate, we're bringing in Brian and Bruno, and Bruno has stayed at the club, and you've got what's his name?
He's probably saying fine. I've already played with him.
Cunha, and you got Cunha.
He's already played with him in the Championship with Brentford.
There you go. So I already know how good he is. There you go, reunion.
Yeah, but you're comparing that to picking off Dwight York and Andy Cole from Newcastle and Villa, who were like
They were top players in the league at the time.
Top 5.
And Bruno just scored 20 goals in the league,
He's a brilliant player.
Dwight York was doing the same thing then. What do you mean? But it's the same thing.
I think it's a little bit different.
He done well at Villa, Dwight York, scoring goals.
Yeah.
And Bruno's been scoring goals for Brentford, the same thing.
I think it's different.
Where was you then? About top 10 as well, wasn't it?
We were literally in the top 6. Manchester United is a different Manchester United that did that as well, by the way.
So now we just moved the goalpost then.
I'm not moving the goalpost.
We bought Louis Saha from Fulham. But acting like Man United don't go within the league and buy players.
That is actually what you haven't done over
exactly.
Over the last few years.
So now we're doing it. Now all of a sudden it's Man United. Yeah, that's not the benchmark, is it? Why is it not the benchmark?
But
Arsenal are now a fantastic team. They bought Declan Rice. They bought
Declan Rice, £100 million player.
They bought Raya from Brentford. They bought Ben White from Brighton.
Yeah,
and now they're a great team.
Fair point.
But when Man United are doing it now, it's no,
it was the way you were talking about it, like they're picking out Ballon d'Or winners.
No,
here.
see, now you're just moving the goalposts. Yeah, Cunha's been one of the best attacking midfielders in the league last 2 seasons. Fact.
No guarantees that he goes there and does the
He's
same
on
for
levels
Manchester
with Morgan Rogers.
It's different playing for Manchester United than it is playing for Wolves and Brentford.
Exactly, which is why
as you've seen,
and
with
different playing from Aston Villa too.
With a lot of players, yeah, but not as big. It's not as big a jump. Playing for Villa and Manchester United at the moment, it's just step down. Playing for Manchester United,
can't do anything. But do you know what Man United should do? Cease and desist.
No,
that's what we should do. Don't buy players. Don't
I'm
try
not
to
saying that.
We have to break now. I don't even want to break. I want to keep talking about
this.
You're
being very, very silly now.
This is ridiculous.
You're being
Absolutely.
silly.
I hope the listeners can make their minds up with what's going on in this.
Throwing your headphones out the crap.
You are listening. I don't know how you're still listening. You are listening to The Social on Talksport 2. Next up, we're going to check in with William Hill.